Okay, good morning. We're now into December. We've finished cultivating all of our fields and collecting all the stones and whatnot, so I think most of our field work is done. We won't be doing any more planting or anything. As you can see, this field used to be full of stones and it's all been collected. It's beautiful. But I figure if we're all done with all the field work, all the tractors have been washed and put into the shed. Well, I say washed, but this one apparently wasn't. Anyway, here you go. There's the current lineup. Isn't that gorgeous? We got a bunch of beautiful, beautiful tractors. These two at the right side must be kind of from the same generation from the look of things. Very, very similar in style. And then we got some older ones right over here. But anyway, I figure if we're done with the field work, then we may as well start shipping grain and start shipping all of our other supplies, seeing as we have a whole bunch of stuff that needs moving anyway, and we'll feed all of our animals, get them ready for winter. As you can see, we still have 20,000 liters of food here. That should be fine. Eggs are currently not full, so we won't need to worry about that. And I should probably check on the pigs and sheep as well. In fact, I can do that just by going into the menu. Give me one sec. Alright. So, from the look of things, pigs do have lots of food left. I noticed something and I want to bring it to your attention. So, I see the total capacity is 94,472. So, to max it out would be 100,000. That's pretty obvious. Base food should be 50%, which would be probably corn or sorghum. And right now, that's sitting in the red. So, not great. That should be 50,000 is the amount we should have in corn. So, we will want to bump that up. And then grain, 25%. So, that means we need about 25,000 liters of grains, and that could be wheat, barley, that sort of thing. Surprisingly, they don't eat oats, so that is something. Protein only 20%, so 20,000 liters. You see we're well over, and that's why we're in the yellow there. We're almost 40,000 liters. That's 39,799. Root crops, only 5% needed. For only doing 5%, well, I think we're probably a little bit over on that as well, and that would be the potatoes that we were giving them. So the balance is a little bit off on the feed. Their health is good though, so we're not too worried about that. As far as the sheep go, we again have too much silage and not enough hay from the look of things. Here I'm thinking it's probably 50,000 is the total capacity for the barn. And if we need 50-50, then we'd need 25,000 of silage, 25,000 of hay. And we really don't have that. We have 30,000 of silage, so we will need to give them more hay. Not a problem. We do have lots of bales. We can make that happen for them. Nothing that they're going to suffer from. You can see their health is 100%. Just something that I'm noticing. And then as far as chickens go, well, they still have 20,000 liters in their tank. It shows in the red, but there's really nothing to worry about. So that is what we're doing there. And yeah, let's go take a look at our grain bins and see what we can do. Okay, we are over here at the bin yard. And so we know for the pigs we do need to give them some more feed. Wheat, we have just about a full bin full. This barley bin is completely full. Then we got a partial here, about 75,000. And then we look over here, we got lots of soybeans. We do have a fair bit of sunflower. And quite a bit of corn. I believe that is a full bin of corn. If not full, then very, very close to. So I think what we should do is we should try to make some measurements and see if we can put the proper feed in here for our pigs. It says we have 140. I don't see 140 here, but maybe that's besides the point. And then again with the sheep, we were a little high on the silage, a little low on the hay. So that just means all we need to do is bring them a little bit of hay, which is not hard to do at all. Going back to our menu here, we see that base food definitely needs to be bumped up. So if we have, let's say 20,000 and we need 50,000 for max, but we can't get 50,000 in there. So probably the most we could get is an additional just over 5,000 in corn, and that would stock up the pigs. Or we could go with grain, and we could do about 5,000 in grain, which would be wheat or barley, and that would top that off. So it's kind of up to us how we want to go about that. But before we do that, I just want to take a look for a little bit here. These pigs are 1 month, these 20 pigs, and then we got some 12 month, some more 12 month, 1 month, 8 month, 3 month, and 12 month. So you can see these are all young pigs. I sold all of my old ones, and it's important that we keep cycling them through, because if we let them get older than 2 years, then their value kind of stagnates and we didn't really make money. So you want to sell them preferably around that 2-year mark, because I don't think that the price will go up after that. With the sheep again, here's 17 months, and then you have 4 months. So you see there's a $300 difference. And again, 17 months and 17 months, there's a bit of a difference in price there. So it's important we keep that in mind as well. Contracts, we have nothing. All right. So I think it might be beneficial if we bring them a little more grain. I think corn will do for what they have. It's about 5,000 liters worth of grain is what they're looking for here. All right. We shall get going. 5,000, so I think the small dump truck is just what we need. We will take this truck and we will go and grab a little bit of wheat, bring that over to the pigs, and we'll feed that and we'll see what we do from there. Again, I realistically only need about 5,000 liters. So that's what we're going to try to do, and I know it's going to be tough getting exactly 5,000, so we'll just do our best with what we can do. 5288, let's see what that looks like. Maybe that's exactly what we need. Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully we don't need to pour any of it back, because that would kind of be a bit of a bummer, wouldn't it? There you go. Beautiful. I don't think they'll take much more than that. Alright. So now we need to get into a few other fun things. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm dealing with right away. As I'm sure you guys are aware, our trailer needs, they have exceeded what we're currently doing with our little dump trucks, and we did rent a trailer for that last soybean harvest. So it's probably the right time to go and get ourselves a semi-trailer. And I'm just looking around, like we got the pace setter over here, gorgeous Wilson trailer. That could do, that's about 40,000 meters. Yeah. Yeah, about 40.8 cubic meters, I guess is the proper way to say that. That'd be one option. The triple hopper I don't want any part of. I hate that thing. Or we can go with the B trains. So B trains give you 75.6 cubic meters. And there's another one, I believe in the back here should be another Super B. There you go. And this one's got 60. So what was the Load King? Wilson was 60. And this is 75.6. So this would be quite the purchase. But I do believe that we could do really well with a trailer like this, especially for hauling away all of our grain. I don't think that it would be in the realm of possibility to buy. And since we're going to be shipping off a lot of our grain anyway, then this might be the answer we're looking for. Okay, if that is indeed the case, then we need to choose between black or white. Well, you know, not hard to pick. It's white because our trucks are all white. And then covers gives us a whole heap of different colors, but that's just the tarp on the top, and honestly there's not much to pick. Black looks fine. Rims are shiny, plates same thing as ever, so we really didn't add any options, and we're left with a total price of $138,500. I think we go for it. All in agreement? Those that say no, you may as well say no now. Last call. Done. Okay, we do have a new trailer now. That'll be great. Now, one other thing that I did want to look at, if we're going to be using hopper bottoms, we're going to have a lot of trouble with these swing augers and whatnot, but there is a very easy solution to this, and I did want to show you guys. Under our belt systems, I believe it's under here, we have a very handy dandy looking thing, and that is the drive over conveyor. Now this thing is real nifty because you can drive right on over there, and it's got a belt, and it'll move the grain over into a different conveyor so that you don't have to keep swinging an auger underneath your trailer. And there, to me, there's no question we are buying that. There we go. Now that we've purchased all of that, we're going to have to go and get ourselves our equipment. So I'm going to go get someone to bring my semi over to the store, and we will see you guys at the store. Well, well, well now. Would you look at that? Now that there is a nice B train. I think that'll go along real pretty. We'll take that back to our yard, our bin yard, and then we're going to go and see if we can sell some grain. That is gorgeous. I like this. Oh, took a sign down. Don't worry guys, the game will replace it next time I load a save. You can see my neighbor's cotton fields. They're all withered. I looked on the map as well, and yes, they are indeed withered. The neighbors on the other side here, their cotton also just withered. I guess they were hoping I was going to do it, and I had I wasn't inclined to do it for them, because the machine that I rent normally for doing cotton, it doesn't give me the whole bale if there's a partial in there, and that always leads to incomplete missions, and I end up losing a lot of money. So I didn't do any of the cotton missions this time, and so now the neighbors were expecting it and they didn't get it, which just means that you know, they should be doing their own job. I am not responsible for their cotton, so they have a massive loss this time around. There's two big, like these are big fields that we're talking. Number 11 and number 3 are both all withered. Kind of unfortunate for them, but what do you do? They need to take care of their own stuff. We're loading up the wheat here on the B train, so you can see the hopper there. I figure we could probably get all the wheat into the first load, and then we'll have to see if we need any extra. Okay, we can see one thing already. 35,200 is a single trailer, and so we have more wheat than what our trailer allows. Alright, that's good to know. We're going to have a fair bit in these, you know, I'll probably end up putting the rest of the wheat in our tandem that's left. There should be just a little bit left, and then we'll save that for the chickens and for the pigs if we do need it later on. I think that's how we'll play that. Alright, well, that is one trailer load, and there is a very obvious lack in power from this truck. I know it has a lot more power. We bought it with a completely detuned motor, and you can tell that it is quite the struggle to pull this much grain. So that just means we'll have to go to our shop at some point and we'll have to boost up the power a little bit. Won't be right now though. We'll do that a little bit later perhaps. We're approaching the elevator now. This is where we'll be unloading all of our excess wheat. I did load up the other wheat that was remaining in the bin. And wouldn't you know it, it was actually only about 10,000 liters that was left. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now normally when you're unloading a beet train, you're supposed to unload from back to front. That would be the proper way to do it. For some reason, I decided not to do that. And that is not cool. I'm not teaching you guys the right way to do it. But we're gonna dump all of this in the elevator. And once it's all done, once we have all of our grains out and in the elevator as much as possible, then we're going to rent the train, and we're going to make a big sail out to Greenville. Greenville has a train that rolls by here every so often, and they're always in need of grain, and I think it's a great time to do it. So yeah, you see the rail tracks right beside the elevator right there. As it turns out, the elevator is now full and we only have half of our produce in here. So that's probably about the time that I should call the train in, and it says we can rent it for $1,000 an hour. So we got to make this as quick as possible. If you see, the meter is running down. Our train should be arriving here very shortly, and we'll start filling the train. There it comes. That is beautiful. Just waiting for it to show up and we can jump on board and we can start loading this thing up. I think with our potatoes we'll probably end up keeping all of it on there. Yep, let's get in there. There we are. Now, I don't know if I've used trains before in any of my other playthroughs, but it is definitely an option. So here we go. We're going to see if we can get car number 1 filled. There we go. And let's see what we all have in here right now. We do have more barley coming, so I won't deal with the barley just yet. We can do wheat in this one. That is fine. So you can see the pipe that comes out of the elevator is slowly filling in the rail car. And these small rail cars, these are the round ones, they fit about 250,000 liters. And then if you look further back, you'll see some square ones, and those will fill about 500,000, so it's double the capacity. Alright, and here I think I want to put that soybeans in. I do have a bit more soybeans left. Oh, I got a little bit of corn too. Wonderful. So soybeans go in there, and I'm going to see if I can get the rest of it flowing. You can see we've got a few different products in here now. I'm going to move the rail car over to the next one. Right about there. Oh boy, right there. And we've got a fair bit of corn we can load up. So that should pretty well clean out everything that we had. I didn't take all of the potatoes. I did leave a little bit, probably about 20,000 liters worth of potatoes, just so we have the spare for our pig feed, and we'll be bringing those home here shortly. But just so you guys know that I didn't take all of the stuff that we had. But I'm just trying to go through all of my grain here, and I do believe that everything in our bins is now empty. And for a good reason, because we have a big plan that we're trying to do. We have bigger bins we need to build, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. So now if we can move over to the next rail car, I just want to make sure that I didn't leave anything out. So let's see. Potatoes still 55,000, yes. And we're just scrolling through here. Oh, sunflower. I do believe I had a rail car of sunflower somewhere. So that's pretty well it. Alright, if we go back, I want to say... No, it's not going to be that one. Not that one. Somewhere in here we had some sunflower, I was pretty sure. And maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, there it is. Oh no, that was actually potatoes. No, let's not have any more potatoes. We need the sunflower. I may have to go and run over to the end, and I guess we didn't put any sunflower in any cars yet, from the look of it. Alright, well that's fine. Next rail car over. There it is. Now we can do sunflower. I think you gotta go backwards. There it is. Perfect. Yeah, that's just a very, very little bit, but that's alright. We're still trying to sell everything. So, there you go. And now we've got everything loaded that we had. I'm going to set this train in motion. And you'll see as we start driving forward, it's going to go to Greensville right about now. Train will now drive to Greenville and will return on the other side of the map. Do you want to sell your goods to Greenville? Yes, we do. $1.2 million worth of produce. Very good. That is fantastic news. Okay, well, let's see you guys back at the farmyard. We're back at the farmyard. And so what we're seeing right now is these were our little bins, and they were good for about 97,000. And then we had about 150,000 on these. Now my plan is to tear all of these bins down, and we're going to move to a slightly different spot, and we're going to get ourselves a bigger and better bin yard. So we're selling that. Yes. And there we go. One more time. And again. Okay. Good. Now we're going to go to landscaping, and we're going to go to painting here. Oh. We want not dirt. Looking for gravel. Yes. Alright, now I got to... There we go. There's some nice gravel here. We're going to do some quick touch-ups here, because it's kind of nonsense having all this grass sticking out everywhere. See that? That's gorgeous, just like that. I don't mind a little bit here or there, but we were a little excessive with our grass everywhere. There we go. Same on this side. And again right here. Oh, we got a little bit in that pasture. Not the greatest thing ever, but that's fine. And then here I just want to kind of paint over a little bit. It's funny that they make the sound of paint. and there as well. And I got my semi-parked here kind of as a bit of a guide, like a reference point as to how big I want to make my bin yard. So again, a couple little tufts here or there is not the end of the world. I'm not too concerned, but I just wanted something that was decent. And so we're going to have bins going along here, as well as a row of bins along here. Or should we rather put bins along this way and bins along this way? See, I'm not convinced that that is actually a good idea. I think it's better to have them longwise, maybe a short row here and then a longer one here. That's at least the feeling I get. But I might have to square this off a little bit. Yeah, something like so. You know, that doesn't look too bad. It's kind of nice too. Oh yes, and then I did want to clean this side of the barn up because we're driving by it anyway. We may as well clean it up and make it look as good as it can. I'm going to change the shape here just because it's trying to go for a bit of a rounder edge. I don't want gravel right on the tree. That would be kind of rude. Oh, then we got a little bit over here. Beautiful. So the gravel doesn't touch that tree. It's kind of an angle. Look at that. That's not even half bad. Now, once again, we are looking at our different bins that we do have. And we started with the, where are these little guys? They're over here somewhere. Yes. 1803s. That's what we had originally. These are the little tiny ones. And those won't do for what we're doing. We also had the 1805s, I believe. Yes. And you can get taller ones. And then even taller ones. And then we start going into the wider ones. So I've noticed if it's 1803, 1804, 1806, what that means is that it's 18 feet in diameter, and the number corresponds to how many rings that there are to build the bin. So each ring is about 4 feet tall, so you get a bit of a gauge there. So this is 2404, which means 24 foot wide and 4 rings, so that'd be about 16 feet tall. And as you can see, now we got 30 footers with different size rings, and then we have 36 footers. So we're going into some substantially big bins here, and they're good for about 1,000,000 liters. I don't know if I need 1,000,000. I think it's kind of cool, but I don't know if I want 1,000,000 per se. But something like this where it's 774, that's not bad. I think that could actually work. Or do we go with 1,000,000 right away? Or do we go with a few different sizes? Let's say, do we start by maybe putting a couple smaller ones here? Maybe not quite the same diameter. Here, what if we did, you know, this is good for 600,000. If we did 2 of 600,000, would that work in our favor? I'm starting to wonder if that would kind of be best. Maybe 2 here, and then maybe we do a couple really big ones right here, and then we'll do a row along here yet. That'll be a little bit smaller. We just need to make sure that we do have room to turn our truck around wherever we do make our bins. That's kind of the big thing. But these are 30 footers. I'm thinking if we're going to go here, let's see what the 20. Yeah, those actually look a little better. They're good for 380 for some of our smaller crops. Yeah, for just putting along the sides, I think these will be quite fine. That's at least the feeling I'm getting. I'm gonna put 3 here. I think that's justified. I haven't even really looked at the price, but I'm sure it's not terrible. Shall we say like that? Okay. Then we're going to get some 3007s, and you can tell right away the diameter is much, much bigger. And what we'll do, we'll spin this around. I'm going to start from over here. Now I just need to get a different visual so I can make a almost decently straight line. We don't ever use that side of the barn, except now we're going to have to, won't we? As soon as we put that in. Okay. Oh. We'll pop one more over there. Okay. Then we're going to get a big monster over this way. I don't like that the spout doesn't quite go straight, but not much we can do about it, is there? What is it overlapping? I can't see. To me it's not overlapping with anything. Okay. And there we can't put another one because we still need room for our truck to drive in. We do, however, have room to put one over here. I just hate where that spout is at, but what do you do? Actually, you know what? For this one, this is 1.14. I want to have one different one, just for the fun of it. Just for the fun of it. Where? Oh yes, this goofy looking one. See, I like how this thing spins much better. I find it almost therapeutic the way it spins. What are you overlapping on? I don't see it. There we go. 500,000. Now we got ourselves a bin yard. Look at that. Okay, and you guys thought I was done, but no, we are not even done yet. What we want to do next, we're going to go back to silos, because I want to get one of these bunkers. Ooh, that is not at all good. Actually, I kind of do like that size. Might have to go a little bit smaller. That's a 12 by 28. Eight by 39. Oh, that's too long. That would be a little bit better, but I don't really like that the back end isn't there. This is a manure heap, so it's not really good. I don't want any of these. So I really do like this one. I just find that the auger is in the way. So we'll have to move the orange auger, because I want to have 2 here. I have a plan. There's actually a plan. Believe it or not. Okay, we'll get this as close as we can. Put one there. Oh wow, we can... It actually stacks nicely. That is kind of beautiful. But I only needed 2. That is honestly all I needed. Only other way I could have another one is up here, and I don't really want that. No, 2 is quite fine. Oh yeah, and our truck came with the drive-over auger too. Alright, perfect. Now, if you guys are wondering what these bunkers are for, I'm going to be putting my my grass clippings in here if my forage wagon won't allow me to dump like it has in the past. So this should give us lots of room. And that'll be for one of them, and the other one I want to put my stones in. You guys haven't been privy to this, but I did get a stone picker, and I got about 26,000 liters in here. So one of the things I do need to do is dump out my stones, because eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them all into lime. But that's another process that's got to wait for another day. We are now going to do a test to see if we can actually turn around in the bin yard, because that is one of the important tests of making sure that this is functional. Is, can I turn a bead train around? And yes, I can. Once the auger is lined up, then we'll be a little more limited in where we can go, but as it stands right now, yes, I definitely can. That is wonderful. Just what we wanted. And we'll be testing those augers out at some point for sure. Just not quite this time. I did do a preliminary test, and it turns out I cannot dump stones in here. But I can do grass and chaff. And I'm not sure about straw. I'll have to see yet. We do have a giant pile of straw that may need to be moved, but that might be something I can do on my own time. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. I think we did a lot of things. Well, we're up to $2 million, guys, and we actually did a fair bit of renovating and landscaping and building. And we're still up $2 million. Isn't that nice? Isn't that wild? We got a couple of smaller bins there. We got the big monsters. We got a couple mid-sized monsters and a small little 500,000 with the stairs. I love the stairs. They remind me of the bins that I'm used to working with. And now we got a nice place we can stand on top and just kind of view everything. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Alright. Well, thank you guys very much for watching, and yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. It'll be the new year. Let's see what we can all do. I'm sure there'll be lots of fun to be had.